Here we are at Fonse Performance, cars on the dyno. It is time to figure out how much power this thing is going to put down. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode here on the channel where we are finally dynoing the SS. Yes, we have finished the build. We have been working with ZZP, remote tuning it, make sure everything is dialed in, but we wanted to put it on a dyno and see how much power we can actually get out of it. Looking like we're at 450 horse to the crank because we're at 337 to the wheel on 93.
That's on pump gas. Now you mentioned 100 octane or something like that, and you get a little bit more out of it. Huh?
What's more fascinating is take 4 and divide it into 450. 125 per hole.
Yeah.
Right.
Do that times 8. Be 1,000 horsepower. But you think about what each cylinder is making.
Right. So this is basically running same amount of power as an 8-cylinder, but on 4.
Right.
It's just way more efficient.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, like, when they come in here, like, that would be like a 6.0, a GM, headers, stock hands. That's about it.
Right.
And those cars at that power level will go 1180s.
Right.
3100 puppet. How's this thing launch? It got launch control.
It does. I've never tried it.
You You're gonna be using it now.
Everybody's like, don't use it. You're gonna blow your trans up. So I just haven't used it.
Then I would believe it. I'm sure it's abrupt.
Like the hard launch, right? And there you have it. Based off of Fonse's Mustang Dyno, this car makes 339 horsepower to the front wheels. Of course, that is not 500 horsepower, but if we were to factor in about a 25% drivetrain loss, that would put us at about 450 horse, give or take, to the crank. Now again, that also is not 500 horsepower, but that's pretty darn close. At the end of the day, the numbers are the numbers. It's a 339 horsepower car to the front wheels. The exciting thing about this build, however, is that as you heard Fonse mention when we were looking at that final pull, this car is making the same amount of power that a 6.0 would make that goes into his shop that gets basic upgrades.
Yeah. Because I can tell you, like, when they come in here, like, that would be like a 6.0, a jam, and headers, stock heads.
So you take a 6.0 and you do all of those things, and you're getting the same amount of power that this thing is making. The difference is we're running a 4-cylinder, so it's way more efficient. When we first brought this car to Fonse, I told him I wanted it to be a safe tune. I didn't want to run it to the ragged edge. Of course we can get more power out of it, but you are running the risk of pushing it a little bit too far. Since this car isn't a full-out race car, it doesn't make sense for us to do that at all. This is a car that I can still drive on the street, and it is a car I can still take to car shows. But if I want to, I can still put the car on the track and be satisfied with the performance. Now, once we finished up, I sent a photo of the final pull over to Matt and crew at ZZ Performance to show them the results. The one exciting thing that they mentioned is that they haven't made that much power out of an automatic HHR with only 22 pounds of boost. So to hear that, that's pretty exciting. Again, it's only running 22 pounds of boost. My KO4 setup was running 25.5 pounds of boost. So we can turn up the boost a little bit if we want to. Now the reason why we only ran 22 is because we did 1.5 turns on the ZZP manual boost controller, and we saw that we got a reading of around 255 kPa. When I data logged for ZZP before the dyno, I got that same 255 kPa reading when I was turned all the way up. The one thing Matt did mention, however, is that the reason why it's capping out at 255 kPa is because that's the highest reading this system can actually pull up. So if you do the calculations, 255 kPa is around 22 pounds of boost, which is exactly what Fonse's dyno was reading on those final pulls. That's around 2.5 turns on that manual boost controller. Matt also confirmed in order to have it at full boost, you can turn up that manual boost controller 11 turns. So that means there's a whole lot more boost in this system that we can get out of it if we want to. The other thing to think about is this car's running on 93 pump gas. Like Mark mentioned, if we want to run a higher octane or do an ethanol blend, we can get even more power out of this car and not have to adjust a single thing. So where does that leave us? Very simple. We need to get this thing on a track and see what it does in the quarter mile. Luckily for us, it is now February and we have only 1 month until the tracks are going to start opening up. The weather's going to get nicer, so we can get this thing out there and see what it does. So, first Saturday of March, Cecil County Dragway is doing a test and tune, and weather permitting, this car is going, and we're going to see what it does in the quarter mile. Once we see what it does, then we can figure out those next steps. If we want to turn up the boost even more, if we want to change the fueling in it, or like Fonse said, since this is a safe, moderate tune, we might be able to adjust the tuning just a little bit to still get a little more power out of it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of this build. And until next time, see you later.